All right, we are live on YouTube. This is a very special impromptu show. I am not going to have any fancy intro or anything like that. I'm just going to get right to it. It's going to be a brief show. Got a few things I want to mention and share with you folks, and then got a pretty busy day ahead. There will probably be some more content coming up later this afternoon. I may end up doing a walk, and there may even be a stream coming later tonight in the evening. But before we get to what I need to say here today, or what I'd like to say here today, first of all, let me make sure that everything is rolling smoothly. Let me check out the back end of YouTube, and it is rolling well. Let me also make sure that the YouTube notification has gone out, and it just did. Let me do a sound check real quick. New show. I am not going to have any fancy intro or anything like that. I'm just going to get right to it. It's going to be a brief show. All right. Looks like everything is rolling smoothly, so let me go ahead and get right to it, because again, I'm not going to be on too terribly long. Like the title states, I'm leaving the gig economy community, no joke. What's next? One more time. I'm leaving the gig economy community, no joke. What's next? First of all, there are many creators, including myself, that have put out, I'm leaving videos, I'm leaving this community, I'm leaving YouTube, blah, 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 right? Trying to use that as clickbait, trying to get people to click in. And then, the video gets more views than normal. And then the next day, I didn't leave, or the other people that have said things like this in the past didn't leave. But I want to make it very, very clear. I'm not actually joking here. I'm actually leaving the gig economy community here on YouTube effective immediately. I will no longer be participating with any of the creators out here on the platform. I may occasionally talk about gig news where it's relevant regarding the companies such as DoorDash, Uber Eats, and many others, too many to mention. I may end up doing some things on my own regarding gig workers' rights if it is the right thing to do and it makes sense to do it and it's feasible. But as far as continuing to work with, collaborate with, or appear on channels within the gig economy, effective immediately, that will no longer be happening. Hey, Klingus King, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. Remember, there's a 1 minute delay between what I say here and what goes out. Thank you for being here. He says, hi, Coach. Wow, you're actually on at a time I'm able to catch your show live. Yeah, I've been streaming at odd hours. Sabrina, how you doing? Welcome. Good morning, Eli. How are you? I'm doing all right. I'm doing well. Don and I are both doing great. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. So like I was saying, this is no joke. I'm leaving the community. I will no longer be participating with any of the creators. I'm not going to be mentioning any creator specifically. I'm making a blanket statement. It's everybody, including people that I still have a good relationship with. I'm just not going to participate in any way, shape, or form regarding, the gig economy content, so to speak. Let's say so to speak, because a lot of the content that's been put out through this community over the last several months has not even been gig economy content. It's been, drama, hateful, and abusive type of content. And that is not in alignment with how I want to represent myself, my girlfriend, my family, my brand. And that's not how I want to represent you folks out here. That's not who I am. I will say that I'm very, very disappointed at the behavior of most, not all, because some people are doing it the right way. But I will say I am very disappointed at the behavior of most content creators out here in the gig economy space. The ones that I've worked with, that is, or attempted to work with. King is king. Personally, the gig topics weren't my gig, no pun intended. Will you return to coaching topics? Absolutely. I mean, that was the intention all along. The gig economy was part of the business series of topics I discuss out here on my channels. But it went sideways, a lot of things went sideways. And it was never intended to go that way. But I can only control how I show up, what I talk about, what I do. I can't control other people. But I will come out and say I'm very disappointed at most creators in the way that they handle themselves, not only in the gig economy community, but out here on a public platform such as YouTube. And I'll put this out there as kindly and professionally and straightforward as possible. I'm disappointed at the lack of professionalism with these creators, and I'm also disappointed at the lack of professional courtesy that does not exist throughout most creators within this community. When I first came into this community last year, during the middle of December of 2022, I started to drive for DoorDash and Uber Eats to make a little extra money because my girlfriend Dawn and I were tapped out. We needed more money. That happens to everyone, including myself. I'm no one special. Things happen to me. So I decided to drive for DoorDash and Uber Eats because it gave me the flexibility to work when I want to work and still, be there for my girlfriend and be there for my family. And my girlfriend, Dawn, has been suffering with seizures. She's been clinically diagnosed with that. We've talked about that before. That's nothing new. And I wanted to do something that would allow me to drop anything and everything at a moment's notice to be there for her. That's why I started to work for the gig economy. And since I was already a YouTuber for many years, and I consume a lot of my content out here on YouTube because I love a lot of the content out here. I love the how-to videos, the self-help videos, motivational, inspirational stuff. I love all that type of stuff. And I've learned a lot from YouTube and so have many others. And so I was seeking out information on how to, maximize my efficiency of being a gig app driver for DoorDash and Uber Eats. And that's when I first started following people within the community. Again, I'm not going to mention names. I'm just, speaking in general here today. And about a month into driving for DoorDash and Uber, things started to change. I realized that the first month that you're driving, DoorDash gives you the best orders because they try to suck you in. And then after a month of, driving for them, they flip the script on you. They start giving you crappy orders, and they had this thing they still have this thing called the acceptance rate. And in order to keep your acceptance rate at a high enough level to keep getting good orders, you had to start taking crappy orders. I started to see some things I didn't really like about how DoorDash was running their business and how the gig world is running their businesses. So I started to seek out more information out here on YouTube, and I came across some really, really great people that were experiencing the same thing or same things. And for many, many months, especially while I was driving, I was trying to reach out to these people, but they never responded. And then, hey, Gig, Drive, and Thrive, just to remind you, there's a 1-minute delay between what I say and what goes out. Gig, Drive, and Thrive, welcome. I think if you are leaving, it's possibly best for your business. People who find your channel for coaching and hear all of this gig economy videos and think, like, what does this have to do with coaching? Well, like I mentioned many times, Gig, Drive, and Thrive, I'm a business and personal success coach. This was part of my business aspect, and it still is going to be a big part of my business aspect, but I'm gonna tackle this independently of this gig economy and this group of creators out here that I'm not in alignment with the way they're doing things. I'll explain more about that in a little bit. I honestly feel the gig economy, in about 5 to 10 years, 90+% of all jobs are going to go the way of the gig economy on smartphones. And that's why I was so heavily invested in it, and I'm still going to be invested in it. I'm just not going to participate with this community of people out here on YouTube. So that's what invested me in the story. And yes, Don and I have done some, personal coaching topics, which we're going to get back to those as well. But I just wanted to clear that up. My investment in this was for the reasons I just stated. Money Mike, Uber will never do self-driving cars if they have to pay to maintain them. They get people to use their own cars right now. Well, of course, that's why they're all making money, because all the liability and expenses fall on the independent contractors. But they all treat us like, W-2 employees with all the programs they make us go through. But they misclassify us as independent contractors, so that way the liability falls on us and not the companies, and all the expenses are paid by us, not the companies. Gig, Drive, and Thrive, I mean the gig drama aspect. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You're right, Gig, Drive, and Thrive. And look, guys like you, Gig, Drive, and Thrive, you're more than welcome to come around whenever you want. You're going to remain a moderator here. Anyone that's still a moderator here and not blocked, you're welcome to come around, come and go as you wish. You're not obligated to be here, all the time. You can come occasionally. You can come whenever you want. Come and go as you wish. But like I was saying a second ago, well, there are a lot of comments coming through. Clingus King says, that Gig, Drive, and Thrive. Yeah, I got a little confused with the switching of gears to the gig topics. I'm pleased to hear the news about returning to coaching discussions. Yeah. Here's the thing. To continue the story, I finally ended up connecting with some of the people I was trying to connect with for many, many months. And it's been a blessing to connect with these people, despite what's happened. Okay? Because while we were connected, we did make some headway, and we took care of some things that absolutely needed to be taken care of. Number one, this glitch that was giving certain drivers and certain creators an unfair advantage to not only get better orders without having to take crappy orders while driving, but it also allowed these content creators to artificially inflate their acceptance rate and then go on their channels and make content saying that, acceptance rate matters in 2023 and Top Dasher matters in 2023. So you need to get your acceptance rate up by taking crappy orders to get the better orders, while they were taking no crappy orders. They were glitching up before they would go live every day to maintain their AR. In essence, they were lying to their audience. We exposed that. This group of people I was working with, we all exposed that. It needed to be exposed. And now I believe for the most part, DoorDash has patched the glitch. I think a few people may be able to use it in certain markets, but I think for the most part, the glitch has been patched. So we exposed the unfair advantage of the glitch. We also exposed how content creators were further, exploiting this through the content they were making. And a lot of creators made a lot of money lying to their audience. And a lot of those creators to this day have not admitted what they did, because that's the way that, they want to run their business or represent themselves. To me, at the very least, that's unethical business practice. And I cannot surround myself with people that are unethical and don't have a good set of morals, values, and ethics. Money Mike says, I only drive 6,000 miles a year. The cost of vehicle ownership is skyrocketing. It is, especially if you're here in California. It's just astronomical, right? So I'm not going to come out here and say that my time in this community was not productive. Yeah, there were a lot of times where it really wasn't, but we at least accomplished something that needed to be done. We cleared the air with these, lying content creators, and we cleared the air about, the glitch that many creators and drivers, in this small group of people had elite access to, giving them an unfair advantage. Let's see, give me a second. Hang on one second, folks. Give me just 1 second here. All right. So with that being said, Many things ended up happening that were completely out of my control. I've been nothing but supportive to the entire community. I never once attacked anyone in the community. I may have had some differences of opinions, which we all have, but I was always respectful in regards to my differences of opinions. I had built some great friendships with some people out here, and it was really nice to be a part of their channels, to participate in their live streams, and to support these people. But then some things happened. Some people infiltrated the community that have nothing to do with gig work. They've never once driven for a gig app. They have no idea how gig apps work. And they came in, they infiltrated the community, and they were successful at infiltrating many people that I was associated with. And they were able to shift their focus. These people were able to shift the focus of these channels from fighting for gig workers' rights and talking about gig topics to, an all-out attack on myself. Hey, AZ Prod, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Remember, there's a 1-minute delay between what I say and what goes out. Money Mike says, back in 2017, a lot of the Uber channels made most of their money from getting other people to sign up with their referral code. Uber used to pay like $500 for that. Yeah, and DoorDash does it every now and then too. Now, a lot of people would sit there and put the blame of what happened on the people that came into the community to infiltrate it, meaning the people that have nothing to do with the gig economy. They've never, used the gig app or anything like that. A lot of people would put the blame on them. Is it right for them to infiltrate the community? No. But is it their fault that this happened? No. And I'm not trying to, point blame at anyone. But in order for these people to successfully infiltrate any community, let alone the gig economy community, the creators have to allow that. So in essence, the people I was connected with and was doing nothing but great positive things, trying to move things forward for gig workers' rights, allowed these people to come in and infiltrate their channels and this community. Plain and simple, that's the truth. Again, I'd like to blame the people that have come in to infiltrate the community that have nothing to do with the community, but if you're going to point the blame at anyone, which I'm not trying to point fingers at anyone, I'm just stating this, okay? The people that allow these people to come in and continue to do what they're doing, you folks are the ones that have created these issues and continue to create these issues. Like I said earlier, the level of maturity, the lack of professionalism, and the lack of professional courtesy in this community regarding most, not all, most creators in this community does not exist. And these types of people that don't have professional courtesy and have a good sense of professionalism are people that are not in alignment with what I believe in and what I want to create. And that's all this boils down to, is a lack of professionalism and professional courtesy. But with that being said, what I will say at the same time, one thing I've always been good at is bringing people together, right? And I've always said, like attracts like, right? I brought a lot of people together through the gig community that would have not been brought together otherwise. And fast forwarding 4 or 5 months later, after I connected with these people, I connected with people in this community. I started getting more involved probably about 5 months ago or so. I fast forward 4 or 5 months later, and I look back, I'm realizing that the people that I connected with are more in alignment with the way they do things and the way they think, and their lack of morals, values, and ethics, and their lack of professional courtesy and professionalism, their lack of professionalism is more in alignment with the people that have come in to infiltrate the community. In essence, like I said earlier, like attracts like. Yeah, Money Mike, I didn't ban you. I'm not going to ban you. I just don't want to talk about these people by name. I don't. So you're not banned. I just removed your message. Yeah, I'm not here for the drama. That's one of the main reasons why I'm leaving this community. And I'm not going to deal with drama in my chat either. So please respect the rules of the chat. Okay? The people I was connected with are more in alignment with their lifestyle and the way they like to do things and handle things. They're more in alignment with the people that infiltrated this community, that have infiltrated this community, that really have nothing to do with gig work. They've never done any, right? So that's the common ground that's bringing these people together. And I'm not one that's going to try to fight that or turn it around, because the simple fact is, even though we got some things done with this group of people, we were never really in alignment with our morals, values, ethics, and professional courtesy and professionalism in general. That's all this boils down to. Okay? I helped many people. I helped motivate and inspire many people in this group. I've helped several people that did not consider themselves YouTubers. They had minimal subscribers, and we talked, and I inspired them to focus on their channel and start doing certain things. And they did those things, and now they're monetized, and now they really enjoy creating out here. And despite the fact that, again, even with these people that I helped, we really weren't in alignment all along, I'm happy that I was able to help them. Directly or indirectly, helping people to me is what makes me happy. Helping people in general, in my eyes, is what a better way to put it, is what makes me happy. And sometimes, you're indirectly helping people despite your, differences that you have, despite the fact that you may not be in alignment with your morals, values, and ethics, or with their morals, values, and ethics. So with that being said, a few more things before I go off the air. I'm sure many people will respond to this. Many people will tag me in. Money Mike says you should do videos on how to set up the microphones and equipment. I'm not that type of channel, dude. I'm not a how-to channel, or I'm not I'm not a how-to channel. Maybe down the road, maybe down the road I'll do a separate channel on that. But that's not my passion right now, man. Even though I'd be good at it, it's not my passion. It's not my purpose. This is my purpose, But like I was going to say a second ago, what this means is that I know people are going to probably do reaction videos. They're going to tag me in. They're going to do whatever they can to shift the attention on them, right? It's all good. I get it. I get you're going to do that. This is the way YouTube works. I understand it, right? But I want to make it very clear. I'm not going to be working with anyone, doing any more interviews, live streams, pre-recorded. I'm not going to be working with anyone effective immediately from this community. And that includes people that I'm on good terms with and that I respect. Because there are some people I respect and I'm on good terms with. But it's just not right for me to participate in this community anymore. And I have to make that decision for myself, my family, my girlfriend that runs my business with me, my girlfriend Dawn, and for the audience of people that, enjoy my other type of content. I can't pronounce that name, but they said the internet can impact people in different ways, whether it be negative or positive. I believe the moment our generation got access to the internet, half of us went downhill. I believe people were going downhill before the internet. There's a guy named Gary V, short for Gary Vaynerchuk. He's a very popular and successful entrepreneur. And he has a statement that I fully agree with. He says, the internet isn't changing us, it is exposing us, right? Let me repeat that again. The internet isn't changing us, it is exposing us. When I first heard him say that several years ago, a few years back, I was like, holy shit. Everyone, including myself, has been blaming the internet for changing the way we are. But have we really changed? Or is the internet just allowing us to expose more of who we are because now we all have access to just, use our smartphones and go live, right? We all have access to create videos, or go live and live stream in real time, where in the past we didn't have that. And this is a global platform. Like, we have access to the world now. So I get what you're saying, and you make a lot of sense with what you're saying. But I believe people are people. And I believe people are just using the internet now as a way to further expose who they really are, right? And a lot of people come out to YouTube and other aspects of the internet as an emotional support group. My ex-girlfriend, Dana, mentioned this to me many years ago before we split up. Because I was having the same issue years ago while I was with her. And she said, these people, they're behaving this way because they're using YouTube as an emotional support group. And I'm like, I asked her why. I said that doesn't make sense. Well, because, probably many other people have tried to help them, in their surroundings, or maybe they don't have anyone, or maybe everyone in their family and their friends don't want to deal with them anymore because of their piss poor behavior. So they come out on YouTube to seek out other like-minded people and, relate to them so they can feel better about themselves. But that doesn't solve the problem. That makes the problem worse, because instead of getting help from people that can help you, you're now connecting with other people that are just as messed up as you are, making the matters worse. That's the truth of the matter. I'm just keeping it real. But again, effective immediately. I don't care how many of you tag me in. I'm not watching any gig content. I'm not watching any drama content. If people come into my live stream chats and try to mention names or drama content, I'm making you folks aware right now. 0 tolerance. You'll be banned without warning. I'm moving on. I'm done with all of this, because I'm not saying it was a complete waste of time. It wasn't a waste of time to be a part of the gig economy. I enjoyed getting to know people. But now, in my opinion, this community, at least for me, has run its course, right? There's nothing left for me to do in this community. There's nothing left for me to do. And even if there was, there's really no one left to do it with, in spite of things that have happened that were out of my control. It wasn't meant for me to work with certain people because we're not in alignment. This has nothing to do even with anyone trying to come in and infiltrate the community. It has to do with these individual creators that, were never really in alignment with what I'm trying to create and how I'm trying to help people. They didn't know that they weren't in alignment with me, and I didn't know I wasn't. I didn't know I was in alignment. Sorry, they didn't know I wasn't in alignment with them, and I didn't know they weren't in alignment with me. There we go. Sorry about that. I had to get the words out right. It takes time. It takes a month or 2 or 3 or so to get a feel for things before you realize if you're in alignment to work with someone or certain people or not. That's the truth of the matter. So this actually ended up playing out the way it was supposed to play out, right? I had a comment on the channel earlier today, and I'm going to read it because it really inspired me to do this. I was going to do it anyway, but this was the nail in the coffin, figuratively speaking, that is, right? Somebody responded to my video yesterday, the YouTubers exploiting the Freedom of Information Act, and wrote, "Hi, Coach Eli, why do you always engage in these low vibration conversations?" That's a nice way of saying, why are you engaging with low vibration people, right? I agree. Don't explain anything to anyone Leave them all alone. Stream something positive that will empower people and help them to be a better version of themselves. Good luck, buddy. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. A lot of people think that I don't, take feedback seriously. I take feedback seriously that's worthy of being taken seriously. People that are attacking and trolling and hating, there's no value there. But if someone gives real, decent, constructive feedback or criticism like that person did, yeah, I agree. I completely agree with that. So let me just wrap up regarding the gig economy, and then I'm going to share what's next before I go off the air here. Okay. So yeah, I'm not going to be watching any content. I don't care how many times people tag me in, try to get my attention. I don't care how much they try to amp up, trying to get my attention. I don't care what they do, right? It doesn't matter how much they amp things up to try to suck me back in. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And if you come in my chats, we're just going to ban you. And we're not going to acknowledge you. I've already talked with Dawn, and Dawn's on board. Dawn's my life partner and my business partner, and we're on board. Even she's going to ignore you folks, right? Some people out here like to call it, let's ice them out, right? Let's ice Eli out, right? Well, we're going to ice you out. How's that? That's all. And it's not even about that. It's about making the right decision to move on to bigger and better things, because there's nothing left to do here. There's nothing left to do here. And here's the thing. To the majority of people that are still participating in the gig economy, there are a few creators that are still benefiting from whatever's happening here. And if you continue participating with those creators, you're only doing yourself a disservice, and you're giving them what they want. Eventually, you'll all figure it out. I'm no longer going to be a part of that. I'm choosing to withdraw and move on to bigger and better things. Pransfilm, I think that's how you pronounce your name. Sorry if I mispronounced it. People nowadays get entertained by drama instead of taking others' feelings into consideration. That's something I need to work on myself. Well, I mean, to a certain extent, anyone, including myself, can get sucked into drama. I've just had so much drama in my life in the past, even before coming out here on YouTube and doing this full time years ago, that I don't have any tolerance for it. I don't. And so I want nothing to do with it. It's not in alignment with my business model, and it's not in alignment with my morals, values, and ethics. It's not in alignment at all. But I get what you're saying. So that is that. Again, I'm just disappointed at the lack of professionalism, the lack of professional courtesy, the lack of maturity amongst, many of these creators. And quite honestly, they've been all men. Like, I'll be honest, they've been all men. For the most part, the women haven't even gotten involved. And I've got to tip my hat to you ladies, because I got to tell you ladies, in the modern world, and I hate to say this, but it's the truth. The truth's the truth. In the modern world, the majority of ladies are surpassing men. They're surpassing men financially. They're surpassing men with maturity. They're surpassing men with strength, even physically, mentally, and emotionally. And maybe that's why a lot of these guys behave the way they behave, because they're seeing women rise up and become stronger and more financially well off and stronger emotionally and mentally than most men. So these men are lashing out, right? I mean, what I experienced here in the gig economy is the same thing that I experienced in different communities. It basically boils down to a bunch of middle-aged men that are just miserable. They're miserable clowns. And they're coming out here on the internet, trying to suppress their misery. And a lot of these men, they can play it off like they're trying to do the right thing. They can play it off like they're trying to be professional. They're here for the right reasons. But 2, 3, 4 months down the road, everyone shows their true colors. Now they're showing their true colors, right? And there's nothing you can do about that. Like there's nothing I can do about it. If I could help them and it was feasible and worth it to stick around in the community, I would. But it's not feasible. It's not worth it. And it's never going to change until they themselves decide to make the change, right? That's all. AZ Prod says, you're absolutely right, brother. 100. I appreciate that, bro. I'm not trying to preach the gospel, man. I'm not even trying to be right or wrong. I'm just stating how I feel, man. I'm just stating the obvious that, that grown ass adults should already see. Like, I'm seeing a pattern here on YouTube and on the internet. I'm seeing a pattern here that follows from community to community to community, right? And again, I've narrowed it down to this, and I hate to say it, but the truth of the matter is, the people that are causing the majority of the issues on the internet are middle-aged, Caucasian, conservative men. That's the bottom line. And I'm not trying to be critical to their political party preference or anything, but look at all these people, okay? Look at the people that I was working with. They're all middle-aged, conservative, Caucasian men, right? And I've noticed that the middle-aged Caucasian conservative men are the most active people on the internet, because they're the ones, in my opinion, I feel that they feel they've been wronged by society, right? They feel like they're the minority because everyone is a protected class with the exception of straight white men. Like, the truth of the matter is, I could be a part of that class too, but I choose to not be a part of that class. I choose to just let things roll, right? I don't discriminate against anyone, but these people do, right? A lot of these people have no moral compass, and it's because, they lack education, and I'm not even trying to criticize that. They're uneducated, right? They weren't raised properly. They live in areas of high crime. I get that. I understand. Some people weren't as fortunate to have a good upbringing like I had and my brother had. That doesn't still give you the right to come and attack people and project all of your past trauma and insecurities to people on the internet that aren't even talking about you. They're just coming out here trying to do their thing, right? You look at all women are automatically a protected class because of feminism, right? Like I said it before, I'll say it again. All women are automatically a protected class. Okay? And all men are a protected class with the exception of straight white men. Because men that aren't straight are protected by their rights. Okay? So I can understand why these middle-aged, conservative, Caucasian men are angry and bitter. I get it. I understand it. I could join you along with that. But first of all, I'm more slight left. I'm more down the middle. But even if I was conservative, I wouldn't be behaving this way. For me, it's more about trying to be a part of the solution, not further the problem. You guys are trying to further the problem because all you guys do is come out here on YouTube and spew and project your hate and talk shit about other people that you wish you could be like, right? It's the truth. That's all it is. It's the truth, right? And that's why I'm leaving, because I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be a part of a group of angry and bitter and jaded middle-aged Caucasian conservative men. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't. So what's next? Well, how far? We've been on for 51 minutes. Wow. What's next? Don and I are going to get back to creating some content when possible. And we're just not going to schedule in advance any of our content. Even if we go live, we're not going to schedule it. We're just going to go live on the fly. And eventually, Don will come back and do a show with me or multiple shows. We've got something in the works. I'm going to be doing my Walking with Purpose streams with different topics. Or they're just going to be a place where people can come in and ask questions. Legitimate questions will be answered. Trolls will be banned without acknowledgement. I ask my moderators to take modding my chat seriously. No trolling, no hating, no attacking. You just get rid of the people that are trolling, hating, and attacking. Don't question it. Just do it. If you make a mistake, I will unban you. I will unban the people. If you make a mistake, don't worry. You're not going to lose your wrench. I'd rather have you make a mistake than let someone slide that should have been banned. That's trying to disturb the peace. So yeah, I'll be doing my walks, and then I will probably be doing some more regular content with Don. Some will be from the studio, some will be from the couch. It's going to be much easier to do live streams from the couch because it's less setup. In the studio, it's a little more professional, but it's a longer setup between the two mics and the way we have to set it up. Franz Film. People say that life is not fair when in a debate or argument or conversation, but it is our job to try to make it fair as much as possible. Thank you for that. Mighty Max says scheduling lives is a waste of time. I would rather just see it. It is on. And if I am available, I watch. No, that makes sense, man. It does. Yeah, it does. Yeah. Also, I'm not going to be discussing what other creators are doing, good, bad, or indifferent. I'm going to be handling whatever I need to handle behind the scenes. And we're not going to be acknowledging any of it because that's what these people want. They make content out of every little thing. So that is that. Before I go, I want to take this moment to, thank everyone that gave me any opportunity in the gig economy. Despite the way things are now, I appreciate you folks working with me in the past. I learned a lot about you folks and how you do things. And I think the biggest takeaway from this was the fact that even though monetarily I didn't make much money doing this, and yes, I am a business, I am here to make money, I got a lot out of it in different ways. And a lot of other people that were uncertain which direction they wanted to go now have a bit of a clearer path. Just kind of like this background here, right? Look at this. That's the road ahead. That's the road ahead there, folks. The road ahead is wide open. And I'm about to travel down that road and up that hill. If you want to climb with me, if you want to drive up that hill and climb it with me, you're more than welcome to. But if you're going to do that, you got to bring your professionalism, your professional courtesy, and a positive attitude. I don't know much about the community, to be fair. I just focus on my own projects. Well, that's cool. Well, thank you for that. Appreciate that. And also, folks, I hardly mention this. I am a business. I put in a lot of time and effort into all this. And my lady and I would appreciate any donations. If you don't want to hit the super chat while we're here live or the super thanks on the replays, you can donate via Cash App or PayPal. Money Mike, thank you for your donation yesterday. I saw that. Thank you so much. I hearted it. Appreciate it, man. I almost forgot to mention that. Thank you so much. Nightbot is sharing my Cash App and PayPal links every 7 minutes. I believe they're also below in the description. PayPal.me/Coach Eli on PayPal. On Cash App, that's $ the real Coach Eli. That's $ the real Coach Eli. Money Mike, have you seen those videos where people get Indian head massages? All you have to do is find a place in your city and record it. They get a lot of views. Well, I bet they do, bro. But I mean, again, it's not the purpose of my channel. Like, I'm not a pop culture type of channel. I'm not a TMZ type of channel. I'm here to inspire and motivate people and help them get what they want, help them accomplish whatever their hearts desire, personally and professionally. But no, I appreciate that, man. Thank you for sharing that. We're at 59 minutes. 1 hour exactly. Let's wrap it up, folks. Thank you so much for being here. We may see you once or twice later today. With that being said, have a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other.